When it comes to the Islamic Republic's ability to continue to suppressing people to suppress people after these attacks and the forces that they have left, it's actually very the way that we need to think about it is the command structure rather than the number of people that they have. That is key, right? So the even before the recent strikes by Israel and United States and the Islamic Republic, we saw that during the early January Lion and Sun Revolution, when the Islamic Republic wanted to attack the Iranian people, shoot the Iranian people, and suppress the revolution, they had to bring foreign forces, right? They had to bring for like Hashd Shabi from Iraq, Fatimiyun from Afghanistan, and Zainabiyun from Pakistan. You don't do that if you have enough of forces. That also confirms that there's a huge level of desperation because the number of people that they brought were in the thousands. It wasn't in like the hundreds of thousands, right? And the IRGC should have enough people for I don't know, like 10,000 people not to be making that much of a difference. So why did they have to bring these mercenaries from outside? Shows that there is a huge lack of ability to convince even IRGC people to shoot at people. I'm pretty sure there are many of them that would, but there wasn't enough, and that was before Khamenei was killed by Israeli fighter jets. So I would suspect that they are running out, but even like it's not about just having people who are willing to shoot at people. It's about who's going to give the command, right? So this is the beautiful thing about Israeli and American operations is that they are monitoring everything, and to give the command, you need to communicate. So you either have to hide in a hole or you need to use I don't know technology to communicate to people to mention to people what the commands are. And as soon as you do that, whoever because they're taking on the leaders of operations on the ground, and as soon as you do that, the next leader is going to be identified and they will be the next target for Israel, right? So even if you have some people who are willing to shoot at people, if you don't have somebody who's giving them order, then what do? Like where do we go? Who do we shoot at? There's a term called atesh be'ikhtiyar, like they try to give them the order that guys, like there's going to be no command, you guys just go and find people to kill by yourselves without like organically apparently. But again, that's so unorganized that it's not going to be that very effective. So taking out by the way, a lot of these people will be now thinking about their survival because Khamenei is dead. So if they see, so other than Khamenei being dead, if they're noticing that nobody is giving them commands, or now the person that was giving them command yesterday, that there's a new commander now, like what happened to that guy? Is like people are going to realize that oh shit, that guy is dead as well. So to a lot of these people who are receiving these commands, the impression is going to be that I probably should get away. It seems like this is the end, and maybe I should be thinking about my survival more than killing people. So that's what it's really hard to measure right now. How many people are still continuing to be available to the Islamic Republic to suppress the Iranian people? I think we're going to figure that out pretty soon once the call to action from Prince Reza Pahlavi comes for people to come into the streets again in the millions. We're going to see how much the Islamic Republic how much can they continue doing the killing. But we were told by both President Trump and Prince Reza Pahlavi that there has been mass defections. So that is very promising. Hopefully, we're not going to see anything like we saw in early January, but there's no I can't give you a number. We don't know. We've just been told by Princess of Pahlavi and President Trump that there has been mass defection, and also we know that as we're speaking right now, the Israel is doing the greatest military operation in the history of Israel when it comes to the scale of the attack. And again, they mentioned just yesterday they carried out more airstrikes than the entirety of the 12-day war, and Israel is admitting that this is the biggest thing we have done from a military perspective in our history ever, which is a big deal because Israel has done a lot of war, right?
Absolutely. And then my last question was about Nyack. I asked, like, how should I
Oh,
respond? If I should respond, maybe I shouldn't do anything. Just put stop.
honestly, I don't
And
think that.
stop.
Yep,
Well,
I think that we should just focus on being supporting Trump, right? Because what they're doing is that they're trying to reduce the political capital of President Trump for this war, and I think that the best thing we could do is to show our appreciation for what's happening. And one of the best things you could do is to go in front of the White House and keep chanting, "Thank you, Trump." And maybe like on social media mentioning I'm an Iranian, and then show your appreciation, like post your appreciation as an Iranian. One thing you could do, actually, you could respond to them as well. Under whenever they make posts, you should go on Nayak, let's say, as an Iranian. This is be it. I mean, do they leave their comments on? Because I know the AMK closes their comments, but
I,
it
I
maybe
I don't really
you
know.
need.
It's a text message they sent me, and it basically
So
gives me different links to click on. And I'm like, I don't want to even be a part. Even I
can
don't know why how they got my number, to be honest.
if you could send me a screenshot of that, that would be great. Maybe you
Yeah,
could post it in
absolutely.
the.
I'll send it to your email. Actually, I can email it to you.
Okay, put Nayak in the subject then. Okay.
Will do. Will do. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I just say
All
I
right.
posted
Let's go.
just now in the chat a bunch of Psych2Go videos in Persian if anyone needs for mental health support.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Who's on the list?
Next, we have Sabina.
So first, I guess I want to thank you, Armin, for kind of dispelling fears about the MEK. And I guess, I have a lot of questions, but to try to consolidate them, I guess the thing that seems important, to me now is that, that the transition happens to the emergency plan, of the Iran Prosperity Project and, Prince Reza Pahlavi. And, you've already kind of begun to answer about these, Democratic politicians that, are coming out. I have made posts, I guess, thanking both of my Pennsylvania senators for supporting the intervention and made posts. I guess it seems important, to like thank Trump, from Pahlavi supporters, but so that this thing gets steered the right direction. I guess I'm, really confused by all the news and just wondering, what the best strategy to focus on, for us as American citizens. And
Let's focus
I
on
was just
one
wondering.
question because I want. Yeah, let's
Okay,
focus on
sure. I
one
was
question.
wondering
What
who those people were, but yeah, okay.
I haven't seen the clip. So what is the question? And like, can you just put it in one sentence? The
Oh,
question.
what is the best thing to focus on here to support the Iran Prosperity Project and Prince Reza Pahlavi being what is transition to, I guess, and
So here.
getting Trump to support Reza Pahlavi.
Okay. So thank you, Sabina. If you could close the mic, I will respond now, because I don't want to hear any background. All right. So honestly, right now, we don't need President Trump to endorse or directly support Princess Pahlavi. I'm pretty sure he is supporting him behind the scenes. We now know, like we already suspected this, that the Trump administration and Princess Pahlavi's team are in communication. We already suspected that, but as we now, it's almost guaranteed now, because Princess Pahlavi came out and gave us instructions, specific instructions, for right before President Trump ordered the start of the operations against the Islamic Republic, the Israeli and American operations against the Islamic Republic. The fact that Princess Pahlavi came out and gave us the instructions the day before was a confirmation that he knew that the war is about to start, and he could only know that if he was in communication with President Trump's administration. We don't need, and we actually would it be helpful if this doesn't happen. We don't need President Trump to come out and endorse Princess Pahlavi, because the Iranian people have chosen Princess Pahlavi as the leader of the revolution and the leader of the transitional period. And it's really important for it to be recognized as the decision of the Iranian people, not the United States or Israel. And this is why, and this is something that both President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu understand. And this is why they have not endorsed him directly. And we need to be focused on in bringing down the Islamic Republic fully, because Princess now, I mean, after the Lion and Sun Revolution early January, honestly, the non-Pahlavi threat option, like fake alternatives to Iran's transitional government, we now know they're no threat anymore. Like they are way more insignificant than even the most optimistic of us realize. They are nothing. There is no threat. They only, like, once the Iranian people are so pro Pahlavi that as soon as you get rid of the Islamic Republic, they know what to do. So right now, when it comes to what we need help with, is to make sure that this military operation continues until all of its goals are accomplished. So if you want to support President Trump, you need to be fighting the isolationists right now. So when it comes to supporting Prince Reza Pahlavi, we have succeeded with that. Like, that is, like, we have that in the bag. That's, like, we're good to go. Where there's, like, this very limited threat against that. What we have now is we need to make sure that the only thing that is the obstacle in our way right now is the Islamic Republic's willingness to shoot at people in large numbers. So once we get rid of that, everything else will just follow naturally, and the Iranian people will be able to manage it from there. So that's what we need to focus on right now. And the isolationists on both the left and the right are going to be working overtime right now to attack President Trump's decision to start these military operation. So what you could do to help is basically support President Trump's decision. And one of the best lines that we could use, which is true, to defend President Trump, is that President Trump is not starting a war. The war started 47 years ago. Khomeini declared war on the United States without either Israel or United States doing anything against the Islamic Republic. Khomeini declared war on United States, and United States has been in war with the Islamic Republic for 47 years, and the Islamic Republic has killed many Americans, and they plan to do a lot more. And what President Trump is doing is ending a war that Khomeini started 47 years ago. And if you need to also convince more Americans that the cost associated with containing the reign of terror of the Islamic Republic is significantly higher than the military operation required to completely remove them. So you're saving a lot of money. You're saving a lot of lives. The cost in American lives and American tax money in the past 47 years is astronomically higher compared to whatever it costs for you to completely remove this tumor. So that's the answer.